After the results of President Biden's annual physical were released last week, where the doctor said, hey, the guy's in good health, he is fit and ready to serve, Donald Trump seemed to take that personally and got on Truth Social to argue with the doctor, where Trump said, quote, "Crooked Joe Biden must take a cognitive test. Maybe that way we would be able to find out why he makes such terrible decisions. I took 2 of them and aced them both, no mistakes. All presidents or people wanting to become president should mandatorily take this test." Now look, as I've said repeatedly, Biden has lost a step as he's gotten older, because that's what happens to most people as they get older. Does that mean that he is actually cognitively impaired? He's made some mistakes, obviously. But Trump, the very same day that Donald Trump said that President Biden must take a cognitive exam, went down to the southern border and told us that people are crossing the border speaking languages that nobody speaks. Here's what Trump said the same day he questioned President Biden's mental acuity. "Everybody I speak to says how horrible it is. Millions of people arriving from places unknown, from countries unknown, with no language. We have languages coming into our country. Nobody that speaks those languages. They're truly foreign languages. Nobody speaks them." Those aren't the words of somebody whose brain is firing on all cylinders, right? Like, that is indicative of somebody that is showing signs of cognitive impairment, which, for the record, mental health professionals that have seen Donald Trump and offered their analysis to reporters say that it's very obvious that Trump is showing signs of mental decline. I actually got an email from one just a few days ago that talked about how Donald Trump's face is like becoming asymmetrical, which could be a sign of a serious health problem. Chauncey DeVega at Salon.com talks to these folks, hugely respected in their field constantly. And they're telling us that Trump could be showing signs of Alzheimer's. He could be showing signs of other, like, progressively worse, like in later stages, cognitive issues. And they say that President Biden's decline, if you call it that, is actually on par with someone of his age. So Trump's out there saying, Biden's got to take the cognitive test that I took and aced twice, no mistakes. And then he's like, people are coming in here and they're speaking languages, and those aren't even languages. They're from foreign countries, of all places, places unknown, places yet to be discovered. Like, those kind of seem like the people we should be talking to, right? Like, hey, you're speaking a language that nobody speaks and you're from a place nobody's ever heard of. Can you show us this undiscovered part of the world? Right? I mean, that's what Trump's implying, because he's the one in serious decline. Then later that same day, he calls for Biden to have a mental exam in the morning. He goes out there, shows clear signs of cognitive impairment in the afternoon. And then that evening, he goes on Sean Hannity's program to boast again about the cognitive exam he took years ago, when he said this. Talking about Biden, he says, he could not do this interview. He couldn't do an interview where you ask even a few questions. And I said this morning, I say it loud and clear, you should take a cognitive test. A president should take a cognitive. No, they say that's unconstitutional for whatever reason. It's unconstitutional. But I took 2 of them and I aced them both. I'm very proud to say, meaning I got it all right. And they're not that, Ronnie Jackson did one. They're not that easy, They show you the first ones are pretty easy. And then you get up, you get in the middle category, then you get to the end. Questions are very few people could answer those questions. That they're actually very tough. Now, I didn't stutter, okay? I'm reading that word for word. So he's like, I aced the cognitive exam, right? There's a middle part. You got to do the middle part. Then there's an end. The first part's pretty easy, but then there's the middle. Like, either he's drunk or he is like having a serious hamster got off the wheel to get a water moment, and he can't form 2 sentences together. So I don't know. I guess it's up to the voters to decide which one is more cognitively impaired. But smart money at this point is definitely on Donald Trump.